Got deep in the ministries. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. So tonight we're not having our, maybe during the week, I'll do our fifth episode of the Christ Letters. We're still on letter 3A. So tonight we're just gonna pause our reading because we want to just talk about and discuss what's on everybody's mind. Maybe not everybody, but most people's minds. The eclipse coming on Monday. If you've been following me in my channel, I did post a dream that I got. I also included in the post something I heard during my meditation. So I'll be going over it and see if we could just go over the dream and see what really our Father is saying to us about what's coming up Monday. And I hope this presentation find you okay. Please, no fear, no fear. Fear is not the enemy. We serve. Fear is not of God. Fear is of the enemy. Fear is of the enemy. Fear is not of God. And if you find yourself, if you find yourself um here today, I just please no fear. God is love. Our Father is love. And the nature, as the Christ letters taught us, the nature of our Father is to protect us, is to provide for us, is healing. That who our Father is, provide more and above what we could ask or think. So whatever is coming in the heavens, I'm sure He's got it, no matter what it looks like. We just have to sort out through the noise and just hear the Father, hear our Father. Tonight I'll be sharing some videos. I have a couple people videos I saw today and during the week that I really liked. I want to share on my platform their message about the eclipse. I thought this was so knowledgeable about what they were saying. So that's where we're gonna start off tonight. So welcome everyone, welcome. And if you're joining us, I hope you could chime in what you think and how you're feeling about this eclipse, how you're feeling about it, what's your plans for Monday? What's your plans for Monday? Just hope everything finds you well. Just hope you're doing okay, you and your family. And we'll just go over some dreams I had 2 nights in a row, yesterday, the night before and last night. And some things I'm gonna start out with I'm gonna start out with his name is really, really hard to say. So if you're hearing me trying to think of this guy's name, I'm gonna start out with his video, what he says about the sun. And he was describing what he noticed about the sun. What he noticed about the sun and listen, he has a lot of videos. His name is underscore IDIONGO. A lot of knowledge. If you're into energy, vibration, frequency, I saw him and I had to subscribe. I just like what, and this is, listen, let me do a warning before I start. If this is not what you think, this is just my channel. This is just something I feel in my spirit with the energy and whatever this platform is teaching. I'm gonna bring these people, I'm gonna bring these videos on here tonight. It's not what you should think. Remember, we're each an individual soul. We're each an individual soul. You have to do your work. You you have to do your own work. You have to do your own work, please. You have to do your own work. This is just my channel and what I think and what I like the information these people I'm gonna bring on tonight. These videos I'm gonna play tonight. I like what they're saying because it coincides with what I teach on this channel. And I'm going to discuss a lot of things that not necessarily what you've heard or what you believed. Please, you don't have to. This is not telling you what to do or what to say. This is just giving you information. Please. All right. So, and I told you his name is underscore IDONGO.
Where our kettle sleep. I wake up and I see it and I look at it. But that hole where the sun used to make an entrance into the place where kettle sleep, it's almost 2 months. And that hole, the light through it shifted from where the kettle sleeps to where we cook from. And I've been waiting for an answer, and I noticed the sun up has shifted its position to my left. The moon has, the sun is always lighting the room here where our kettle sleep. I wake up and I see it and I look at it. But that hole where the sun used to make an entrance into the place where cattle sleep, it's almost 2 months. In that hole, the light through it shifted from where the kettle sleeps to where we cook from. And I've been waiting for an answer, and I noticed the sun up has shifted its position to my left. The moon has shifted its position. When you are standing, as far as the solar system is concerned, the sun is the pineal gland. Mercury is the pituitary gland. When you are in a sleeping position or in bowing down or prostrating or lying on the ground, planet Earth has a pituitary gland. Planet Earth has a pineal gland. The pineal gland is positioned between the left and the right hemispheres. The movement of the sun above our head is the movement of energy between the pituitary gland and the pineal gland of Mother Nature. Moonlight is melatonin. That's what moonlight is. The sun has shifted its position. The pineal gland of Mother Nature, the pineal gland of our planet, has shifted its position. It's no longer going to rely on the information from the moon so that it can release its spiritual energy. We are going to have access to the spiritual energy from the sun, despite whether we have light or whether we have darkness. Darkness activates the pineal gland to produce melatonin. Pituitary gland has shifted its position. Pineal gland of Mother Nature has moved a little closer. Mother Nature is going to lose its neocortex. Mother Nature is going to lose its cerebral cortex. Mother Nature is going to start using its cerebellum. The use of cerebellum is going to start using its cerebellum. The use of cerebellum of Mother Nature is the Kundalini awakening of Mother Nature. It's the spiritual awakening of Mother Nature. The spiritual awakening of Mother Nature is the activation of the mammal brain of Mother Nature. It's the activation of the lizard brain of Mother Nature. It's the activation of the, what we call it, I got it, is the activation of the reptilian brain of Mother Nature. We have a lizard brain, amygdala. We have reptilian brain. We have mammalian brain. We have the human brain. Want us to give way for the silent brain, the little brain. And we have a solar eclipse on the 8th of April. That's what I've seen going online. But for me, it's not even panic. We are going to have access to melatonin from Mother Nature at whatever moment. We are going to have access to who we are. It's a new era. We have access to a spacious flow of spiritual energy on our planet for once in the beginning of cerebellum is the beginning of a new era for humanity. And I think Mother Nature has remembered us. Mother Nature has heard our call. And the sun and the pineal gland and the solar system, we are never going to wait for Mercury. We are never going to wait for Venus. No. Black people also need to rise. Black people also need to smile. And it's time for our smile. It is time for our smile. And no one is going to stop the sun. No one is going to stop Mother Nature. It is time to activate our cerebellum. It is time to activate our pineal gland. It is time for our reptilian brain to grow and be. We need to be who we are. We are not what we've been told we are. The sun is always lighting the room.
Okay. All right. So what Mr. Indiago is saying, um, the son where he lives, he has maybe his kitchen and his bedroom. And he's saying the sun normally rise from the kitchen. And for the last, you get up every morning. Maybe some of us who grew up in the country may be able to understand, but or anywhere. You get up in the morning and you 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 know that the sun's gonna be here. He's saying for the past 2 months, he noticed that the rising of the sun has changed its position, and also the moon has changes its position. Well, he's comparing the sun and the moon to our pineal gland and our pituitary gland. And if you understand the laws of the universe, it says as as below, as above, so below, as within, so without. So just how we're made up in our body, that's how Mother Nature, Mother Earth is made up. Um, so he's saying that the sun, the pineal gland and the pituitary gland is gonna do their thing, just as how the sun and the moon, the pineal gland and the pituitary gland represents the sun and the moon in us, and also the sun and the moon in in the earth. So the movement of the sun and the moon in the earth is the same movement of the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. And these glands secrete a certain hormone, I think melatonin. I think the pituitary gland, I'm not sure, I have to go back in my class, secretes I'm not sure if it's there's another one, but he's saying they secrete melatonin. And if you know what melatonin, some people says melatonin is melanin is the word for melanin, and I know melatonin and they use it to help you sleep. Um, it helps with your sleep cycle. It helps with your sleep cycle, your balance your mind and all that. What they call it, circadian rhythm or something like that. Um, all right, so he's saying that these two glands that secrete these hormones in us represents the sun and the moon outside of us. So basically saying the eclipse is gonna allow if you hear this before, people talk about our pineal gland, and I was just listening to Bill Donahue yesterday too, and he talks about activating our pineal gland and activating our cerebellum. He calls it the serpent brain or something back there. So he's saying what he's basically saying that this eclipse is gonna allow us to arise and create um open up our spiritual ability, open up um the things that our bodies were meant to do, the things that our bodies were meant to do is gonna come online because the sun is gonna be in its rightful place and Mother Nature is rising, and so we have to rise, basically. And I know if you follow me, I did put a video about the sixth seal. Or maybe I'll play it here tonight too. And also the Black Sun. I know if you haven't heard before, some people out there are very knowledgeable about the Black Sun. And also polymers. Polymers was put on our DNA for some reasons and for DNA activation, some form of DNA activation. So basically, he's just saying this man. I'll leave the link in the description box. So if you want, you could follow him. He's very, very, very knowledgeable about if you're out there seeking and you're looking somewhere to start. That this person in Diango um, on TikTok. I don't know if he's anywhere else. Please follow him. You could get that knowledge. Um, please follow him. All right. That's Mr. Indiango, and he thinks the eclipse is gonna it's gonna activate certain cells, activate our pineal gland, activate our kundalini, some people call it, in the back of our head. That's a lot of people think have different meaning about what that is and what our pineal gland does. And I know Christ says, if the eye be single, the eye be being single. So the pineal gland is, according to Mr. Indiango, and have something to do. It's something within our head that has to be activated. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go to another video and see if I could find Dr. Mumbi Soraki. Well, Dr. Mumbi Soraki, I've been following her. What is this? Uh, on this one. Dr. Mumbi Soraki show. Let's see if I can see her. Look like the newer ones are at the bottom, so I can't. But if I could see our videos. This Rocky. Hmm. No content. Hmm. Let's see here today. Autonomy Rocky. Hmm. Okay, so I guess I can't show Dr. Mumbi. I really. I wanted to show Dr. Mumbi's video, but yes, all right, so that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna go over, okay, so I'm gonna go over a dream I had earlier. Yes, not last night, the night before, 2 days ago. That's today's Friday, so that's today's Saturday, so that Friday morning, yes. Yeah, Friday morning I had a dream. So I had a dream on Friday that somehow I was watching the eclipse. Somehow I was watching the eclipse, and while watching the eclipse, I didn't see the eclipse. And if you haven't, many of you probably watched this video online, but if you haven't watched it, I'm just gonna go over it briefly again. So there was an eclipse, and somehow everybody was like on a deck, on a house with a porch watching it, and we were hanging out. But somehow I didn't see the eclipse. But when I looked down, I saw shadows of the eclipse. Shadows of the eclipse. And I noticed there was just shadows, beautiful purple shadows, beautiful. And but somehow I was like, oh, maybe I should tell somebody about this. But I'm like, no, I'm not. And it seems like after the eclipse, um, we got off the porch, and immediately there was just a shaking. Just I don't remember feeling the shaking, but there was an earthquake, and my mother and I was running and telling people to get out of the house, get out of the house, get out of the house, and because there's an earthquake. And let me tell you, devastation, devastation. The roads were closed. They were digging out. People fell into the earth. They were digging people out of the earth. We were taking people to the ambulance, to the hospital and ambulance. We were doing CPR. It was just a frightening time. But as I begin to look into as I begin to look into this dream, you know, the shadows on the earth, the shadows represents, I'm thinking the shadows when we're a shadow is something of ourselves and to of the real thing. The shadow is something of the real thing. A shadow of us look like us, you know but it's not us. And a shadow too, the shadow, we looking down on the shadow, it came to my spirit, maybe we shouldn't really look on what's going on up there. Whatever is gonna take place down here, you know. So that seeing the eclipse with the shadows on the earth, to me, this is my interpretation, is like it's like the shadows represents look down. If we're watching the eclipse, don't focus too much on what we're seeing up there. Don't focus too much on what we're seeing down there up there. Focus on what's happening on the earth, whatever it is. I don't know, it says it's a shadow and it is purple and it's beautiful, the shadow of what's happening in the sky. We all have to rush to focus on look at the eclipse up there, look what's going on the earth, what's going to take place on the earth, and it seems beautiful. What's it's going to cause, the shadow effect of it on the earth. That's what I'm getting from that aspect of it. All right, from aspect for the shaking. Y- You know, the sixth seal, it reminds me of the sixth seal when it says there's gonna be an earthquake. And that earthquake to me represents raising your energy, raising your vibration, raising your frequency. That's what that earthquake represents to me. And so the shaking, telling people to get out of their house, and does that to get out the house before it collapses? Is that a warning for repentance? Digging people fall into a ditch, taking them out. You know, it sounds so much like a calling of the earthquake, like a calling for repentance. Yelling at people to get out of the house, that the house is falling apart. Because if you understand that we're not this body, we're not this body. This is the temple of the Most High God. And when Solomon, I know we see Solomon temple as physical, but spiritually, this is my interpretation. The most holy of holiest, that inner self, that's where we have to thrive to get over the flesh, get over the ego, and get into our spirit. It's time for spirituality. It's time um to get out of this world. Our mind is so encapsulated by everything of this world. Some of us are even buried in there. So the flesh is gonna fall apart. Whatever And this is my belief that whatever is coming, it's whatever was mentioned in the Bible, the sixth seal, not necessarily on Monday, but it's the time. As I mentioned in a video, I'll play that video before the end. As I mentioned in the video, um, because it's a period of time. It's not necessarily on the 8th. And that's what I think the shadows mean. Don't focus on the eclipse. There's just a revelation, a call for repentance, a raising of your energy and vibration. That's what that earthquake represents, in the dreams. And not just me, I hear a lot of people having the same dreams. And I noticed in the dreams, everybody mentioned a color. Some people have red, some people have blue, some people have purple. And my opinion is that's your chakra system. Remember, your lowest chakra is red, and I think your highest chakra is purple. I'm not sure your crown chakra. So purple, orange, blue, whatever color you get in your dreams, please look it up and see what those colors represents. So I think as for my dream, I think what it's just telling us that we have to get out of our fleshly aspect, get out of our worldly mind, seek the things that are above. We have our true self, our inner self, our Christ self. If you follow my ministry, you'll know I talk about this. We are not these bodies. We are energy vibrating at a certain frequency. That's what we are. Nothing is solid. This nothing, as you look at it, um, you're walking around daily, look at it. Um, Nothing is solid. Nothing at all is solid. Everything as a consciousness, everything as a consciousness. Not not all consciousness are created are 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 attached to source, but everything is a consciousness. Why the bed of a consciousness? Because the energy that was put in it to make it, the television, the energy, the cars, those things have an energy to it. So I think what all these dreams trying to tell us, that it's an emergency. It's an emergency. We have to ascend, as the Christ letters keep telling us, raise in our vibration, vibrate vibrate at a certain frequency. And what does that mean? Mm, It's everything we've been doing since we've been going to church and we accept Christ as our Savior. We try to love one another. We try to do the things that are good, the things that are pure. And I'll take it to another level. Right now, what it doesn't even matter what our mouth says. There's an energy that we should be giving off. That's just I think that's the currency of the spiritual realm. Your energy. What energy are you giving off? It doesn't matter what you say with your mouth. It doesn't matter. You go to church every year and you testify. Now it's the energy that you're giving off. That's the currency of heaven. That's where you'll vibrate. That's where you vibrate. So if you had a vision about your colors, check your colors and check your chakra system. Your colors should line up with, if you're ascending, you're ascending by your colors. I know the red chakra is your root chakra. That's why everything in this realm is red. McDonald's is red. Anything that's not good, just observe in this realm. Observe and see the things that are red around you. Those are low vibrational things. Yeah, I think yellow and red. I think I remember McDonald's. I remember saying, "Oh, McDonald's." So I'll be observant to your surroundings, because everything is connected. Everything is connected. As what goes on inside goes on in the world at large. What as above, so below, as within, so without. Everything goes together. So raise your vibration, raise your consciousness. That's a killer. What does it mean by raising your consciousness? Being aware of what I'm just saying, being aware that um you're not just life and death. You don't just come here to live and die and go home. You come for a divine purpose. You came here to learn a lesson, your true self, your soul. Your soul has to learn, maybe has to learn a lesson, or if you came here, you volunteer to come here to help in this, ascension, in this time of ascension, to help in this time of ascension. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking that um yes, so that's what my dream, I'm talking about my dream was about. Just the shaking. It's a shaking spiritually. It's a shaking vibrational. Everybody has to vibrate at a certain frequency. Come to the knowledge of who you are. You're not this flesh. Your true self is within your Christ self. That's what Christ represents. That's what Christ's teaching was about. Anything else other than the kingdom of God is within, and everything you need is within. It's not Christ's teaching. And I'm just gonna go out on a limb. That anything else was usurped. And if you want to know the go to the apostles, that the books not mentioned in the Bible, and you see how it matched up with the Christ letters and matched up with what you hear. Go to the Gospel of Thomas, go to the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, go to the Gospel of Mary, Jesus' mother. It was that the kingdom is within. That's where we have to go now. That's the new gospel. The kingdom is within. Christ is within. Your true self is within. Your true self is leading you and guiding you every minute of the day. We are a rebellious house. That's who we are, because we're not listening. We're looking outside of ourselves. We're looking for somebody outside of ourselves to come and help us. This is what being conscious is about. You have to understand who you are. We have to understand who we are and why. And I know sometimes I want to say Christ's message was usurped, but not just Christ's message was usurped. His apostles, is so many messages was usurped because if you read the Pistis Sophia, obviously all his disciples knew that everything is within. The true self, the Christ self is within. So when he talks about what the cross signifies, the crucifying of the flesh and go within. That's what the cross signifies. We have to come to this knowledge. So all this earthquake, everyone's dreaming about earthquake with this eclipse. It's not necessarily physical. I know the enemy, listen, there's an enemy of our soul, and they hear all the earthquake. Don't listen to it's a dream. It doesn't necessarily mean it's physical. Yes, sometimes some of us dream, and it is physical, but it's an earthquake. It's a vibration. It's a vibration. All the in the Christ letters, he tell you he's able to come now because the energy and the vibration on this earth is raising. That's what he means by him coming back and let us understand about his truth, the truth of his crucifixion and why he came. So we can understand the laws of existence. So we can understand the truth of why he came to this earth, the truth of why he was crucified. He didn't do it. If you notice, his ministry never mentioned that he was in a church. He was fighting with the rabbis all the time because the people depend on them. And everybody, this and if something's gonna come out of the eclipse, now we're gonna understand how powerful we are. This is what my opinion of what is going to come out of the eclipse. Oh, just understanding how powerful we are. So my advice to what's coming on Monday, don't focus on the things that is up there. That's what Dr. Mumbi's thing said, and I couldn't do the video. I'm not sure why. I don't know if I can find a way to open it. Yeah, that's what Dr. Mumbi was trying to say. Go within, go within, go within. This is what this eclipse is about. Go within. Yeah. So just go within, whatever you're feeling, and I know people talking about fasting, whatever you feel in your spirit to do, it's just a dispensation of your spirit, of spirituality. We're moving higher spirituality. We're going higher, and we just gotta be open. I remember in the Christ letters he says when Christ after his crucifixion, he wasn't able to come to everybody, only those who were receptive, only those who believed that that he wasn't in his flesh, he was all spirit. He just came to them. He descended in consciousness so that they could see him. Not that he was in his body, but he was still a light being descending consciousness, so he could spend some time with them and talk to them again before he ascend. Yeah. So this is where we are as I'm just discussing my dream. Yes, just the shadows on the earth. Don't be caught up in the eclipse up there. Don't be caught up in there. Whatever the effects of the eclipse is gonna be felt on earth, it's gonna be felt down here. And it seems like it's all spiritual, the shaking. It's just a rise in consciousness. It's just a rise in vibrational energy, raising in frequency. It's gonna happen on this earth. We're gonna have to walk spiritually. We're gonna have to understand who we are when we hear that we're spiritual beings. Um, we have to walk in our spirituality. That's what I think the earthquake in my dream signifies, pulling people out of the ground. We people gonna have to be lifted up out of where they've been for such a long time. And that's why I love that, oh God, our Father is a God of love. He knows what his children needs. He knows what we need at a time as this. So pulling people out of the dirt, some people are struggling, taking people out of that shaky house, you know, sounding the alarm. Come, come, come. You know, people being reviving in the hospitals. We were doing CPR, getting back people into good health. We were doing CPR, and most of the people, I didn't even see one person die. Everybody came back to life and was laughing. So it's a time of rejuvenation. It's a time of love. It's a time of community. So if you heard my video on, I know I got a lot of comments about people just hear this and they think um death and destruction. No, we just put your dreams out there so people can interpret it. But next time I'll know better, interpret it when I give my dream. Yeah, so that's what it is. That's what it is. Not necessarily a physical earthquake. And some of you are going to be like, you know what, deep ministry? There was an earthquake in New York, I think Philadelphia. There's been a lot of earthquakes. Okay, so I another topic I put on my thing was Cern. And that's what I heard in my meditation. That was not in my dream. And oh my God, what's the name of it? Um, Something Kaleido. All of, oh my gosh, I forgot what the total name because I didn't know that's the real name for it. Cern. Hadron, Hadron Collider, Hadron Collider, Large Hadron Collider. That's the name for CERN. And I know what's it? Not yesterday, Thursday night. In my meditation, that's what came to me. I'm like, and even in the morning, I got up and saying Hadron Collider, Hadron Collider. I'm gonna after I said this about CERN, I'm gonna try and play Dr. Mumbi video. So Hadron Collider is this CERN thing, this huge thing they said is in Switzerland. They use it, according to them, they use it to replicate the Big Bang to find particles that's as tiny as tiny. That's their thing. Some people say the CERN is used um, to go into portals, to open up different portals. And you may be like, oh, um, you may be like, deep ministry, why would they want to open portals? Well, if you know, um, there's an enemy down here with us, and I think they're stuck with us. They're stuck with us. I know we've seen on the news that people went to the moon and they go satellites in the sky and all that. Do your research. Don't listen to me. Autodidactic. Do your own research and study. But I believe I don't even think they can go to the as far as the planes goes in the ether. That's where I think they can go. And they're the only way out of here is stargates and portals. Stargates and portals. So if they're trying to open new portals, either one or two things they're trying to, and I'll share my dream I got last night too. One or two things they're trying to open a portal so they can get out or to let stuff in. And that means that our Father have all of these portals with their covered by all of these stargates covered with his archangels are with the divine beings so they can't touch them, they can't use them, so they're probably creating their own portals. And in my opinion, that these earthquakes and stuff, that's probably CERN. I'm not, that's just my opinion. Trying to start up or try to replicate because they hear so many people talking about earthquake to start create fear. To create fear, they start this thing up and causing a lot of earthquake for us to think that it's God. And that's what I said in my thing yesterday. Don't think all these things is God. Don't see these things happening, these earthquake and things, and be like, oh, that's God, that's God. No, that's not God. So, Hadron Collider, Hadron Collider. So, Hadron Collider, that's what CERN is. That's what CERN is. Do your research. Okay, let me see one more time if I could get this. See if I can get this. Okay, all right. Let me see if I can share it. Let me see if I can share it. Okay. Finally, this is Dr. Mumi Shiraki. I hope this is Dr. Mumbi's channel. I'm gonna put a link in the for all these videos because I don't want to murder her name, Dr. Mumbi Saraki. Please follow her. I've been following her for years, years. And she's just gonna give a brief description about the eclipse and some things that I just mentioned about Cern too.
We live in a dome, covered by a firmament, surrounded by an ice wall. No one gets in, no one gets out, unless you use Mama Earth's doors, which they call portals or stargates. There are many portals and stargates around the world. Some have been discovered, many have not, especially the ones on the motherland. On April 8th, a major galactic or celestial door is opening over the Americas. And the last time this door opened, some very interesting and powerful beings came through. The so-called Anunnaki, our so-called ancient ancestors.
Hmm. I'm gonna play her again.
Our ancient scientists taught us that we live in a dome, covered by a firmament, surrounded by an ice wall. No one gets in, no one gets out, unless you use Mama Earth's doors, which they call portals or stargates. There are many portals and stargates around the world. Some have been discovered, many have not, especially the ones on the motherland. On April 8th, a major galactic or celestial door is opening over the Americas. And the last time this door opened, some very interesting and powerful beings came through. The so-called Anunnaki, our so-called ancient ancestors.
Yep. All right, that's Dr. Mumbi Show. Please follow her on YouTube. Or stop follow her on YouTube, please. This I know she has a TikTok here. I'll put that video in there, but she's on YouTube also. Yeah, so that's what I think CERN is. Hadron Collider. Collider. Oh, hear me again with it. Hadron Collider. Hadron Collider. Hadron Collider. So remember, there's an enemy of our soul down here with us. And if we are going to ascend, and if we're going to break free, just imagine what's going to happen to them. You know, so they're doing their thing too. So replicate what they think God is doing, as they've been doing all these years. They've been pulling us in different direction with fear. That's why it is so important not to not to be fearful, not to be fearful. Please, there's nothing to fear. You're divine being, you're greater than this enemy down here. And that's one thing I would love people to know. The only way this enemy can get the best of us is to allow us to fear, is to cause us to fear. That's the only way. Remember in Job, remember in Job, listen, the only way he was able to touch Job was when the father allowed him to. Was when the father allowed him to. Well, if you go into his path and depends on him for your financial gain and depends on him instead of waiting on your father and do things with them, well, yeah, you're beholden unto them. Yeah, you're beholden unto them. Is this the same video? Yeah, you're beholden unto them. They can't do nothing to you, my people. Nothing. You're not dependent on them for anything. You're not dependent on them for anything. Yeah, so you're not dependent on them for anything. So listen, don't worry about no enemy. They can't get out. They have to stay here and deal with all this deception. They have led us in a path to serve other gods. They have changed Christ's original teaching. I remember when I was in my dream, someone come and showed me there was two Christs. The original Christ teaching was usurped into worshiping something outside of ourselves. And when we do these things, we vibrate at a such a low level. That's why we're in this um constant lacks, constant sickness, and so many things going on around us. You want to change those things, vibrate higher, get out of the enemy's camp, get out of his camp, his deception. This world is his, it's his playground. Why God sent us down here with him? Because he knows, our Father knows that he don't have any power over us. When we wake up and come to this knowledge of who we are, he's done. He's done. So he's still holding on to our family members and holding on to those who still depend on him, still looking outside of him for for direction and for guide. You know, that's what the enemy of this world. We talk about the enemy so much. He don't have no, he has power, yes, he has led but not over us. The Bible tells us the battle is not ours, it is his. So all the things that they let us blame our father for, they do things and we think it's God. Oh, God doing this and God doing this. And sometimes we even giving him credit for things that he hasn't done. The enemy credit for things that he hasn't done. Oh, the devil what? Listen, we are the creator of everything that we find ourselves in. We create it. We create all the difficulties, all our sickness, because of our minds, our thoughts, our mind and our thoughts. We think about it, but that's his trick. He create the atmosphere for us to create these things. He create the atmosphere of fear. We so fear of sickness and death. Don't even know that death is renewal. Death is just going through another portal, and that we energy doesn't even die. We never die. We never die. We never die spiritually. We this flesh, yes, but we probably been on this earth so many different times, or even different universes and different dimensions. All right, please. I hope you're getting something from this. Okay, I got my author, Dr. Mumbi, video up, and this thing she's saying, please, if you don't know who Dr. Mumbi Saraki is, she's a journalist. Been she's just an enlightened person. Everything is energy. This is my people who I've been following her for more than 10 years now. I follow her on YouTube. Please, if you like her videos, please sit down and watch it. They're uplifting, and they're knowledgeable about how the realm works and how and who we truly are. All right, so I'm gonna try share my screen with her again.
On preparing for this eclipse, family. Number one, clean your house like you got guests coming tomorrow, like your favorite person is coming to visit. Number two, Sage and clear your space as well. In fact, I would go around the perimeter of your house and sage your house. Say words of abundance. You're welcoming in the good. You're blocking out the bad, etc., etc. Thirdly, clean up your mind, your body, and your soul, family. If you've got any little issues that you're dealing with, try and just get those out of the way. Fourth, tune into spirit. Tune into your spirit and see what are they telling you to do to prepare for this season. And number 5, get excited and get onto a high vibration, because the higher you are, the higher the beings you'll see.
All right, one more time and then play. One thing before I play it again, I do not agree with sage. I don't even know what sage is, but some people I know use sage. As for me, I do not do anything to cleanse my house other than water and prayer. I pray and sprinkle water. That's it. I don't really agree in any smoking, any sage, but if that's your thing, that's your thing. All right, that's the only thing I don't agree here with Dr. Mumbi about the sage.
5 tips on preparing for this eclipse, family. Number 1, clean your house like you got guests coming tomorrow, like your favorite person is coming to visit. Number 2, sage and clear your space as well. In fact, I would go around the perimeter of your house and sage your house. Say words of abundance. You're welcoming in the good. You're blocking out the bad, etc., etc. Thirdly, clean up your mind, your body, and your soul, family. If you've got any little issues that you're dealing with, try and just get those out of the way. Fourth, tune into spirit. Tune into your spirit and see what are they telling you to do to prepare for this season. And number 5, get excited and get onto a high vibration, because the higher you are, the higher the beings you'll see.
Yes. That's Dr. Mumbi. I'm gonna leave the link of all these videos in the description box, so you guys on YouTube, so you guys can watch all of these people. All right, so moving on to the dream I had last night. The dream I had last night was it seems like an airplane, but it seems like a ship. I'm not sure if it's an airplane or ship, and we're all on the ship going somewhere. Don't think we're going somewhere, and the pilot and the hostess and all that. They're serving us, they're doing us, but somehow a few of us on the ship, a few of us on the ship started suspecting something, like they were up to something. They were robbing, there was this old lady, they were robbing her, trying to go get into her savings. They were trying to get off the ship. The captain was trying to get off the ship, and the hostess was trying to get off the ship without we knowing, after taking everything we have. And let me tell you, we put up a fight. We put up a fight. Somehow I can't tell you how we came into the knowledge that their plan, they were trying to rob us and then jump ship. And we fought. I don't know. I remember the old lady, she was able, they didn't get to go into her account and all that. And afterward, I know I was sitting at a table, somebody that looked like my brother. I was waiting for somebody, and then his 2 sons show up. So that's the dream I had last night. But when I asked the spirit, and I'm gonna learn to ask the spirit before I post my videos, because people get scared in my dreams. So, in the spirit, this is a ship. This is a ship we're on. And those that's been leading and deceiving us is looking to jump ship. Their time is up. This time it's up. It took a few good men. If you see that old lady last night fighting and fighting, we fought, and here we are. As Dr. Mumbi says just now in our video, be happy. You made it. You're here. You're here. You're gonna experience the pouring out that Pentecost. I think Pentecost is coming in 40 weeks. Come on. Pentecost, that Pentecost. Now it didn't pass, it's coming. They were all on one accord and the pouring out of the Spirit and pouring out of the Spirit. So we've made it. We're here. We fought the good fight. We have kept the faith. There's nothing to be fearful of. Keep loving, keep raising your consciousness, keep raising your vibration, everyone. All right, so the bad guys are looking to jump ship, and who are the bad guys? All those leaders, all those leaders. I'm gonna stick with African and the diaspora. I know, that's what I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna give them because somehow they have held us into poverty by listening to the God of this world, by listening to the God of this world, and took all our resources and filled their pockets and no upliftment of the community, no jobs, no roads provided. They sign they sign whatever with the enemy of this world, the enemy of our souls, and kept us and helped them, kept us in bondage, the poverty. Look at the resources that Mother Earth has. Each country have its resource to provide. Our Father provided for us. Our Mother provided for us, and our leaders, those that was on the ship with us last night, our leaders sold us to the highest bidder, rubs us in the scale, robbed us in everything that I looked at Africa and the diaspora, the Caribbean, and all those places. We haven't been developed. No fast train, nothing. They just they used us as energy, used our energy as food for the enemy because we're constantly in this place of lack, and instead of fighting with them, we're fighting with each other. But when we rise, when we go high, they go low. When we go high, when we raise our energy and vibration, and then we'll be able to see them for who they are. And then they have to go low, they have to jump ship, they have to abandon ship. So all these leaders, those in authority who play a part, and I'm talking to those who have sold out um, our energy to the highest bidder, because when it comes down to it, it's all about energy. You keep us in a lower vibrational so you can feed off our energy of lack, going to 9 to 5 job and can't pay our bills. We can't be the mothers and the wives and the men and women of God as we supposed to, because we're so busy trying to work the check. That's still no excuse of us not going inside and trusting our Father to provide, but they have contributed, they played a big part of it. And so those are the ones we see jumping ship. And other countries too. Everybody knows what they have done to God's people. And I'm not talking about race, to God's people. So those are the people. Those are the people that's jumping ship. All right. One more thing, I have to talk about meditation. If you're listening to me, please meditate. Please learn how to meditate. There is no one way to meditate. It's just relaxing your mind and allowing your Christ self. If you don't believe, if you're listening to me and you think deep ministry is just talking, I dare you. It's just talking because she's talking. There's no inner Christ. If you're saying tonight, to this message tonight, there's no inner Christ, there's no Christ within, there's nothing within me. Everything is God outside of you. Listen, meditate. Meditate, and I dare you to come back. If you're out there and you're saying that, I dare you to come back and say that. If you meditate, you will, your true self, this is not your true self. This is just a projection of who you really are. Your true spirit, this is not who you are. Your true self is your Christ self. So if you're here and you don't believe me, go meditate and ask your true self to lead you in your meditation. You hear everybody say, oh, I saw this in my meditation. It's their spirit, it's their Christ self showing you things. It's your Christ self. I know first thing you're going to take, people going to say, oh, it's the enemy can take it. Listen, where your Christ self is, don't no enemy can go there. You are not this body. You think who you truly is, and the enemy can stand up against you. Why you think they have to deceive you to have you bound? Where your Christ self sitting at the right hand of God, no enemy can go there. And you'll know. It helps you to get out of this flesh and learn to communicate with yourself. You don't always get it right. Yes, your mind keeps going back and forward, but sometimes even for a minute, it'll come and show you, and your mind will be blown. Please learn how to meditate. If you're hearing things and you don't believe them, meditate. Meditate. All right. Um, one more thing before I wrap up. I did a video about the sixth seal. I did a video about the sixth seal, and I think I'm gonna play it tonight. And then I'm close. Then I'll close. And I will close. Is it this hard to find videos on my channel? Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do, see, I have too many things open. Hmm. Okay, so I am gonna share in Revelation 6. So in Revelation 6, John wrote about Seal 6. And in Seal 6, there was a great earthquake. And this earthquake reminds me of a vibration. A great vibration happened. And this vibration is the raising of the mass consciousness. So this is my interpretation of Seal 6. I should start out by saying that. So there was a great earthquake, and that great earthquake reminded me of vibration, raising your vibration, raising your frequency, raising your consciousness. So a great vibration happened, and the sun turned to darkness like sackcloth of ear. And me now, who is a fan of the channel Vibes of Cosmo, who talked about the black sun under the earth. And in Vibes of Cosmo said that the black sun under the earth reflects the moon And the sun is the moon and the sun is a reflection of the black sun under the earth. So the black sun creates the moon and the sun we see in this realm. So in Revelation 6, it says the sun is going to be dark. So is the black sun going to take its rightful place? Is our current sun going to be the black sun? All right. And it says the moon is going to turn into blood. We've always looking, oh Christ, when the earth's going to end, we're going to see the moon literally blood. But if you look at blood, blood is the life essence. Blood is the life essence of anything. And if that life essence is gone, you die. So if the black sun is the life essence of the moon, then there's not going to be any moon. And then it says the stars from heaven shall fall, like the fig tree shaken its fruits in a great shaking of the earth. Just to paraphrase. Okay, the stars, according to God's Black Cosmos, the stars we see in the heavens, the star we see in the heavens, these are energy spots on the earth. The moon is just a reflection of what the true earth looks like, what the different areas of the earth. So the stars we're seeing on the firmament, whatever firmament means, because I'm still thinking that firmament, that sky is probably some holographic thing. Okay, so the stars we see are just energy spots on the earth. The moon is reflecting, the firmament is reflecting those energy spots. And you can see them also on the moon. Please go to that channel, Vibes of Cosmo, if you want to learn more about that. So if the moon is going to turn into blood, there's not going to be any more moon. There's not going to be any more moon because it has lost its life source, the black sun. All right. And the other aspect of it, and the kings and the captains, they're going to run to the mountains. What we've heard, what are we hearing the elites has been doing, those in authority? That's where they're going to run to the mountains, and under the earth and in the mountains. That's where they're going to go to hide from this. Listen, we always, when we hear this seal 6, we always think looking for the sun to turn black, looking for the moon let me speak of myself, looking for the moon to turn to blood. No. And looking and thinking you're going to see your brothers and sisters running to the mountains and the mountains running from them. No, this is not how it's going to be. This is all energy, vibrating energy, frequency, consciousness. This is all it's going to take to change this realm, for there be no more matrix. And if you hear me, what's the matrix? This is this earth that we're living in. It's been controlled by certain beings, and the Bible gives us a hint and says, Satan came down to the earth, and it seems as if they're stuck here with us. See, it seems as if they can't get out. Does this mean that they're going to get out, or does this mean that they're going to stay on this earth? I'm not sure about that aspect of it. But listen, this is my interpretation of Seal 6. Seal 6 means that getting rid of the matrix. No more matrix, and when the scroll, no more firmament, and then we'll truly see what's outside of this. And this is just my interpretation, that the moon, that the sun being dark, it's the black sun, being our true sun. The moon, there are going to be no more moon. The sky, the stars falling to the ground, it's just if there's no more firmament, there's no more moon, there's no more reflection of the earth, of the energy spots that's on the earth. And the men the captains and the kings and people in authority run into the mountains because they know what they've done. They know what their deception is, and they can't take this frequency. Listen, you want to get rid of any enemy, you vibrate high. Vibrate so high that your enemy can't take it. That's our chief weapon. We don't need guns. We think people packing up guns. No, we need vibrational energy. And let me just say this: there's an eclipse that coming up soon. I know I've been hearing in my meditation about DNA awakening, polymers removed. There's just some form of consciousness that's going to come forward. Not necessarily on that day, but I see it in a time and space. Don't be caught up in that exact day, April 8th. But just be receptive, be a receptive mind to what is coming into the earth at this time. And always the key to defeat our enemies is raise your vibration, raise your consciousness, raise your frequency. Thank you all.
Yay.
Yes. That's where we're going to end tonight. And just to recap, so I don't get a strike. Okay. All right. So just to recap, we started out, we play. I'm not even gonna. I think it's I am called. I'm gonna leave it that is the description of his video in the box, so you could go back and watch it. And we played him, and he talked about the sun. He's from Africa, where the sun normally rises. For the past 2 months, it has moved. It hasn't risen. But his main purpose of making the video, he talks about nature, that as within, so without. So as nature rises, so we rise. Whatever is going on in nature is going on inside our bodies. Remember that that's the law of the universe, and it thinks it's just time that the true sun within us is that our pineal gland and our cerebellum and our pineal gland is gonna be opened. It's gonna do what they were meant to do, and melatonin and the rising of God's people. And I also played Dr. Saraki, Bumbi Saraki, Dr. Bumbi Saraki, and she talked about the what we're living in, that we're living in a dome, and that portals and stargates. Please do your own research. And she also talked about things not to do, things to do during these eclipses. And as I mentioned, sage, I don't believe in sages burning anything in your house. So that's the only one I don't disagree. I also went over my dream that I had. And as I mentioned before, the shadows on the earth. I think our Father's trying to tell us, don't be caught up with what you see with the eclipse itself. Be caught up in what's going to happen on this earth, and the earthquake in my dream signifies the raising the vibration, and the frequency. Our house, we're getting out of the physical house into the spiritual house, and the taking people out of the ditch, people's consciousness rising, and people in the hospital, CPR, people coming back to life, spiritually. That's what I think my dream meant. And I talked about Cern, Alidon, Colydron, another name for Cern. As I mentioned, I was hearing in my meditation, and that means Cern. And it's this big thing they claim they use it to look for particles from the Big Bang when the world first started. You can do your own research about that. And also went over a second dream I had about being in a ship slash plane. I couldn't be sure. And the captain, they were deceiving us and try to rob us and try to jump ship. And we were fighting, and old people, young people, we were fighting, and we overcame them. All right, so that's my presentation tonight. Maybe during the week or maybe next week, we'll continue with our Christ letters. I hope you have enjoyed this. Please, if you let me hear your opinion, let me hear your comment on what was discussed here tonight. And I just want to thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, all the divine beings that's out there working on our behalf at a time as this. We thank you that you have chosen us to experience, Father, whatever this is. Father, we are going without fear. We're going with love and excitement because we know our Father is a God of love. And Father, you're always taking care of us. And Lord, you're making a way more than what we could even ask or think. I thank you for those who have heard this word tonight. And I pray, Father, that they may continue to raise their vibrational energy, frequency, and consciousness and come into the knowledge of who they are and the ultimate goal, become one with our Christ self. Thank you, Father. Thank you for your blessing upon this prayer line. Father, we give you honor, we give you glory, and we give you praise. God bless you all. God bless you all. I love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful eclipse day. God bless.